Hi, welcome to another episode of Miss Erica's Crazy Costume Catastrophe. This week, Miss Erica is dressed like a giant ball of yarn. You'll find out why in a little bit. This week, be sure to read Colossians 2 and 3 together as a family. Parents, you can find fun, creative ways to explore and interact with Colossians 2 and 3 with your kiddos in our parent email that comes out every Monday, so be sure to check that out. All right, let's get started. First, let's explore where we're at in our Big Bible timeline. Paul wrote the letter of Colossians to the church in Colossae later in his life, but we're going to look at it this week. Colossae was a small town in what we call Turkey nowadays. It was near another small town called Laodicea. There were people in both of these towns that had made Jesus their king, and there were some small house churches that were meeting. And Paul writes the letter to the church in Colossae because he wants to encourage them and the people in Laodicea to follow Jesus better and treat each other better. Remember, every letter that Paul wrote was written to a specific person or people about specific problems that he wanted to talk about. And so for this letter, he wanted to talk about how they treated one another. I got my kids, Chloe and Samuel, to make a video for you of them reading some verses from Colossians 2. Take it away, guys.
I want you to know how much I've agonized for you and for the church at Macedonia, and for many other believers who have never met me personally. I want them to be encouraged and knit together by strong ties of love. I want them to have complete confidence that they understand God's mysterious plan, which is Christ himself.
Paul wants the people in the house churches in Colossae to be knitted together with strong ties of love. Paul understands how important love is for a church and for people in the church. Jesus even said that everybody else would know that we were his followers by how we loved people. And so Paul understands that if the people in the church in Colossae are not loving each other well, that's a big problem. But Paul knows that it's hard for people to love each other really well. So a little bit later in the letter to the church in Colossae, Paul describes Jesus as the one who is the source of all of our love and the one who ties us all together. And you know what? It can be really hard for you and me to love other people well too. Usually we get frustrated, impatient, fed up, annoyed, angry with people around us really quickly. And we run out of our own love for people quite fast. Even people in our own families, we can run out of love for them by lunchtime. So these verses are really important for us too. We need to remember that Jesus is the source of all of our love for each other. And Jesus' love is the only thing that ties us together and helps us love other people really well. This week, we're going to do a little bit of a craft. So you will need a piece of paper, any color, some markers or crayons, and some yarn and a pair of scissors. Man, where am I going to get some yarn? Then take your piece of paper and fold it in half like this. Then open it up and draw a picture of you and somebody it's hard for you to love. Draw you on one side and the person it's hard for you to love on the other side. Then have a grown-up take the scissors and make a tiny hole, one next to you and one next to the person that it's hard for you to love. Now you're going to take your string and you're going to put it through the hole next to you. Then put the other end through the hole next to the other person, the one that it's hard for you to love. Like this. Then take a minute and have everybody in your family take turns praying, Jesus, help me to love this person, you can say their name, with your love. After you've prayed, it can be somebody else's turn. But once you finish praying, you can tie your two string ends together to remind you that it's Jesus' love that ties us to other people, and it's his love that is the source for our love for others. Just like this. All right, guys. It's been so fun hanging out with you. Thanks for watching another episode of Miss Erica's Crazy Costume Catastrophe. Remember, on Sunday, we're going to be at Family Large Group in the park at Lake Akatink at 10:30 in the morning. Remember, this Sunday we have special guests. They're missionaries from Cambodia, and we get to hear all about what God is doing on the other side of the world, but also how we can be helping people here know about Jesus and make him their king. I can't wait to see you guys there. Bye!
I want you to know how much I've agonized for you and for the church at Lacedonia, and for many other believers